I'm so excited. I just got a guitar for Christmas. Now I can learn to play it. Ooh. Ow. The nice thing about the AeroBand guitar, no strings, no calluses needed. Hello, I'm doing this video around Christmas time because I thought it was a good time to do the video because my idea of the AeroBand guitar is that it would be a great gift for somebody who wants to learn the guitar, who is starting to learn the guitar, and is a beginner. So let's take a look at the AeroBand guitar. Just hold down the power button, and I want to show you that when you hold it down, when it comes on, you'll see the lights over here light up. Now that I've turned the AeroBand guitar on, now I can actually sync it up to my laptop, to my iPad, to my tablet, to my phone, and then I can look at the application that comes with the guitar. What I love about the AeroBand guitar for beginners especially is they have the app that comes with it that allows you to pick different instruments. You can change around the instruments. So let's go just a few of them. We won't go through all of them. And if you want to change it, and you can see here it's got the yellow bars going across. That means it's the acoustic pick. You want to change it, you can press the center button here. Sometimes we need a capo to change up the sound, right? So the nice thing about it is, again, we've got the buttons here, and I'm gonna move it forward so you can see those lights. If you press that, that shows you where the capo is. Now the capo is on the 1st fret. Press it again. Now you can see the capo's on the 2nd fret. And let's press it one more time. So we've got the capo on the 3rd fret. And normally with an acoustic guitar, you have to actually play the chords down lower because of the capo. So here's an example of the capo on the 3rd fret. Now if you want to play a G chord, you can't play a G chord here because the capo's there. So you have to move down. So you'd have to play the G chord here. With the AeroBand guitar, you don't have to play down because there's no capo on the device. It's built inside. So we can still play the G chord like we would normally, but we're going to get a different sound, right? So if we push this back, so there's no capo on there anymore, okay? So we can still play the G chord in the normal position. You hear that sound, okay? So let's change it and put the capo. Third fret, but I'm still going to play the G chord on the third fret. But we have a different sound. I love that about the AeroBand guitar because you don't have to play around with the capo and play down. As a beginner, you have to build habits of where you're playing the guitar. So if you want to play a G chord, you're going to know the dot is going to be on the third fret. That's how beginners learn, right? We know that that's the 5th fret, the 7th, and the 9th. That's how you can tell on the guitar what fret you're playing. And as a beginner, you're going to look at that. When you're an advanced player or you've been playing the guitar for a long time, you can just play, right? And you don't have to look at you just know where everything's at. Right? But you're not going to do that with a beginner. A beginner is going to look at the chord, they're going to position their fingers, and they're going to strum. Now they might have to change, find out where they're positioning, play the chord, and again, they're going to have to look, but that's okay. That's the learning process. This is a lot easier for a beginner. You even have the on-screen where you can look at the on-screen. You can see that your dot is here for the 3rd fret. And you can position your G chord. And you can look at the screen of the app and say, okay, I have my 3 fingers. Let's strum. Now when I strum the guitar, I also see the chords that I'm strumming. How nice is that, right? It's good for if you're strumming as well. You can kind of see, am I getting everything? What I like about the AeroBand, especially for beginners, is it's easy to mute the strings, right? So again, let's go back to a G chord and you're strumming. Okay. When you're practicing, you just might want to say, okay, I want to play the G chord. You hold down this part of the guitar and it mutes it. Now there's settings inside that allow you to do different things like muting and hammer on, hammer off, that kind of stuff. And you'll have to adjust those settings for this. You can play your chord and you mute it. Something that the AeroBand has a little bit of issue with, in my opinion, is the muting part when you're playing chords, right? So the AeroBand guitar can mute while you're playing it. However, it's a little different. So I wanted to show you how you do the muting while you're playing a chord with an acoustic first, and then show you the AeroBand. With the AeroBand, then it's a little bit different. You're going to have to mute here instead of on the string itself. You can still do it, but I find it a little bit more difficult in my opinion. So I don't find it as smooth or as nice sounding. So let's take a look at the differences for picking, right? You also noticed that there was a hammer on there and a slide. So that's kind of nice that this guitar allows you to do that. So let's take a look at the same slide, right? Or the same riff or the same picking pattern, right? So again, I've got it on the capo on the 3rd fret, just like the AeroBand was. I'm gonna have to play the same instrument, but I'm gonna start on the 4th fret. So a little different, the same technique, same everything. You get that same feeling. So my final thoughts on the AeroBand guitar is that it's a great gift. I think you can't go wrong with this guitar if you're a beginner. Have fun with a guitar, because that's what it's about, enjoying the guitar. It's like therapy for me. I love playing the guitar. That's the enjoyment I get out of it and the therapy I get out of it. And hopefully you can start off with AeroBand guitar and get that same therapy and enjoyment. Thanks for watching. Please subscribe. Have a blessed holiday and enjoy playing music.